need for better security.
I think in this case, what's fascinating is that the kidnappers are demanding payment in cryptocurrency.
A ransom deadline passes more than a week after the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. Why investigators say the demand for Bitcoin could crack the case. Oh, and the Hive gets very stirred up tonight with a fight on the floor of the Spectrum Center. How it was just one chapter in a raucous night between the Hornets and the visiting Pistons.
Queen City News starts now.
Thanks for joining us at 10 tonight. I'm Brian Blakely. Charlotte and Mecklenburg County leaders are telling North Carolina lawmakers they could do more to ensure public safety with additional state funding. They testified before the State House Oversight Committee today in Raleigh and got a scolding from the panel's Republican chairman, who said city leaders don't focus enough on preventing crime.
The core function of government is not DEI, trans rights, the welfare benefits for illegal aliens, or some new social justice program. The core function is public order, safety, security.
Republican leaders called for today's hearing in the wake of the August murder of Irina Zarutska on the Blue Line train in South End. The man accused of stabbing her to death had a violent history of crimes and mental health issues. Lawmakers saved the toughest questions for Sheriff Gary McFadden, who previously argued the tough on crime law named for Zarutska did little to help his office or his deputies.
Is that your take on it? Is that we don't know how to write the law?
I never said that you don't know how to write the law. I simply said invite us to help you write the law.
Lawmakers also questioned McFadden on his office and jail operation and his stance on federal immigration efforts. Other leaders were in the spotlight at today's hearing. They said more state assistance is needed to carry out public safety plans. Queen City News reporter David Schumann details the top priorities from the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Chief.
Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Chief Estella Patterson was in Raleigh Monday to answer questions, but she had a request of her own for legislators.
We absolutely have to fill our vacancies. That is a top priority of mine. I would ask this body to help us to be able to ensure that our officers have competitive pay, that what we offer them is the best in the nation.
Even as crime has fallen in Charlotte, 21% for violent crime, 9% overall, Patterson recognizes the perception hasn't kept pace. The deadly stabbing of Irina Zarutska on a city train last year led to the passage of new tough-on-crime legislation and this hearing. Patterson says technology and data advances will keep driving crime down.
Making sure that we are on top of crime before it even happens, identifying those hot spots, identifying those trends.
The city also contracts with grassroots violence interrupter groups.
This is a street outreach team that reaches out to high-risk individuals and that prevents crime before it happens. So yes, we do have those programs in our corridors of opportunity.
City Council member Dimple Ajmaris says the council has continually increased CMPD's budget, but she echoed the chief. They'll need more help from Raleigh.
When a city grows this quickly, we have to keep up with funding.
In Charlotte, David Schumann, Queen City News.
Charlotte Council members tonight approved more than $7.7 million in business incentives tonight for companies moving into the Queen City. The business grant is almost $7.3 million for Scout Motors. Electric vehicle maker will establish its headquarters in the city with 1,200 jobs and a $207 million investment. Logistics company Maersk also plans to set up its North American corporate home in Charlotte with a $16 million investment and 520 jobs. It is getting a grant topping $250,000. Charlotte-Mecklenburg School Board members will lay out their plans and goals for the next year's budget tomorrow. They'll hold a work session on the funding for the district that it needs for the next school year. For the current school year, they had a $2.1 billion spending plan. More than 55% of the district's funding comes from North Carolina's lawmakers. The board meeting begins at 5 tomorrow afternoon. Rock Hill School Board members will have school buses on their agenda tomorrow night. They'll consider the cost of updating the district's bus fleet. The average age of yellow buses is 15 years, but several school choice and activity buses are 20 years or older. Purchase price of new activity bus is more than $167,000. This was a wild scene at the Spectrum Center tonight as tempers flared in a high-profile matchup in the NBA as the red-hot Hornets took on the top seed in the East with the Detroit Pistons in town. In the third quarter of that matchup, 4 players were ejected following this dust-up. It started between Moussa Diabate and Pistons center Jalen Duren. Miles Bridges and Pistons forward Isaiah Stewart later got in on the scuffle. And head coach of the Hornets, Charles Lee, was ejected later in the fourth quarter after he argued a foul call. Pistons go on to put an end to the historic win streak, 110-104 tonight. We'll have more coming up in CSL. FBI officials say they have not identified any suspects of persons of interest in the apparent kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie. She is the 84-year-old mother of Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie. As Bronald Tumulty reports, a ransom deadline for the Guthrie family passed earlier tonight.
We are at an hour of desperation, and we need your help.
An 11th hour plea this afternoon from Savannah Guthrie, desperate for any information on the whereabouts of her mother, Nancy.
We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help. Law enforcement is working tirelessly around the clock trying to bring her home, trying to find her. She was taken and we don't know where.
Authorities believe she was taken from her Tucson area home in the early hours of February 1st. Her DNA matching blood later found on her porch. Authorities this weekend opening a manhole on Nancy's property, searching a septic tank and revisiting the home of her daughter Annie, believed to be one of the last people to see her. Annie, Savannah and their brother Cameron posting a video over the weekend following ransom notes received in the last few days by multiple outlets, including a television station in Arizona, at least one of the letters demanding millions of dollars.
We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
It's a case that's captured headlines around the country, with the media circus that's ensued, causing some to believe money may not be a motivator for whoever is responsible.
From day one, there has never been a good faith negotiation. Whoever purported was sending these ransom notes have not reached out to the family directly. I'm fearful that the media circus and the 24/7 attention on this story is really what the ultimate objective was, and not the ransom payment. But 5 o'clock's going to come and go, and it's going to be very concerning.
Another former FBI agent tonight is explaining why the Nancy Guthrie case is so difficult to crack. Eric O'Neill is a former Bureau counterintelligence operative. He says the main challenge comes from the inability for anyone to communicate with the alleged kidnappers. He also points out cameras at Guthrie's home were disabled and a house is spaced out from those neighbors.
The kidnappers are not communicating frequently enough for the FBI to track back the email address. Even if you use burner emails or anonymous emails or dark web, a hiding of the identity of the email, the FBI still can track it if they have a number of different communications to pursue. They don't have that here.
O'Neill says the kidnappers' demand for ransom to be paid in Bitcoin could help their investigation. That's because the FBI is able to track cryptocurrencies. North Carolina Attorney General Jeff Jackson will make an announcement on public safety in the state tomorrow morning. He plans to highlight the work of employees at the state crime lab with federal and local law enforcement representatives. We'll have coverage of the AG's announcement tomorrow on Queen City News. North Carolina Governor Josh Stein also plans an announcement tomorrow focusing on keeping energy costs down. Stein also plans to discuss expanding access to jobs and wages that can support families. Those issues will come during his update on his NC Strong initiative tomorrow afternoon in Raleigh. A couple out metal detecting on a South Carolina beach made an unusual and potentially explosive discovery. They found a Civil War era cannonball in the sand in North Myrtle Beach. Horry County Police bomb squad members say they knew it was explosive after finding a fuse inside. They safely detonated the device at a different location. Officials believe it was brought onto the beach during an ongoing dredging project to renourish the sand.
All right, checking that weather tonight. It's getting chillier out there, of course, after what was a slightly warmer day today compared to yesterday. But if you'd like an overall just break from all the cold weather we've been experiencing lately, tomorrow is your day. A winter warm-up is coming. Just how high the temperatures will go and how long the warmer conditions will be sticking around. That's next.
Turbulent tides are knocking over more homes on the Outer Banks. How one community is responding to the recent collapse.
Ever in a million years would I ever think that a girl from the beach would ever take up a winter cold weather sport.
Getting off the couch and onto the ice, how the city of Charlotte has becoming a curling hub in tonight's Faces of the Carolinas. And coming up tonight at 11 on CSL, Joey Ellis and I will break down all the highlights from the wild contest between the Hornets and Pistons at the Spectrum Center earlier. Plus, we talk to one of the newest additions to the Hornets as Kobe White awaits his debut for them, and another Hornets rookie is getting set for a busy All-Star weekend. The two events that will include Kai and Knipple. Stay right there. You're watching Queen City News, the most honored and the most local news in Charlotte. Members of Congress are looking into the files of late billionaire sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, but they got little help today during a deposition in Washington with his closest associate, Ghislaine Maxwell. Raquel Martin has a status report on the Capitol Hill investigation.
Lawmakers left Monday's deposition clearly frustrated, but this is certainly not where the investigation ends. In fact, there are more questions arising after lawmakers for the first time were able to read the unredacted version of the Epstein files.
I respectfully decline to answer this question.
Monday's deposition of Ghislaine Maxwell, the former girlfriend and closest ally of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, is unlikely to unlock any secrets about Epstein's crimes.
She is a monster. She does not care. She has no remorse.
Committee members say Maxwell pled the Fifth.
I therefore invoke my right to silence.
And took the opportunity to petition for an early release from prison. She's currently serving a 20-year sentence for sex trafficking.
She is telling Donald Trump through her deposition that she is trying to buy her clemency.
Don't think she should be granted any type of immunity or clemency.
While the files include names like President Trump and former President Bill Clinton, Maxwell's attorney told lawmakers neither did anything wrong. Down the street, for the first time, lawmakers reviewed unredacted Epstein files at the Department of Justice.
Troubling to us.
Democratic Congressman Jamie Raskin says it appears the DOJ did not follow the law.
There were tons of completely unnecessary redactions in addition to the failure to redact the names of victims.
The law signed by President Trump explicitly states records cannot be withheld solely to protect officials or public figures from reputational harm. Overseas, the backlash has been swift.
How long have you known?
King Charles is in hot water over his brother's ties to Epstein. He announced Monday he'd support a police investigation into former Prince Andrew. After reviewing the unredacted version of the Epstein files, 2 lawmakers say they could count at least 6 men whose names were redacted without explanation. Epstein survivors have expressed frustration about the heavy redactions in the files released so far. That was front and center during a Super Bowl ad on Sunday. For now in Washington, Raquel Martin, back to you.
Charlotte FC officials are preparing for the 2026 season with a big party to show off their kit for this year. The club is hosting a release party from 6 until 9 tomorrow night at the Fillmore. Fans will get a chance to get their hands on the kits for the first time, and show will also feature an exclusive concert from a Carolina country star, not named yet. Photo ops and food trucks will be on hand at the event as well. Number of Outer Banks homes that collapsed right now in the last year is up to 31. Leaders say along the shore it's all tied to the weather patterns and in recent weeks, violent winter surf conditions. Robert Rizzo gives us a look at the latest cleanup process.
It's been a little over a week since 4 unoccupied houses over a 2-day span collapsed into the waters of Buxton on the Outer Banks. Since 2020, 31 houses have now fallen. Eric Lutz surfs the nearby waters.
Once they fall, the houses break up pretty fast. Just dragging through the sand, the water kind of just pulls them right apart.
The debris of those 4 houses that recently fell are now scattered along the beaches, between the houses, and piles of debris are starting on Old Lighthouse Road. Lutz thinks more falling houses could soon follow.
It looks like they're trying to put some up on stilts even higher now, but I think all these ones that you can see, like this one's starting to lean in towards the sea a little bit, just as it pulls away more sand. You know, I would never wish that on somebody, but I wouldn't be surprised if you'd see one of these front row houses go in on another good storm.
On Wednesday, February 11th, the Dare County Board of Commissioners set up a special meeting to discuss the Buxton Beach Nourishment Project, which is set up to begin this summer. Dare County has hired a removal company to pick up the debris from the 4 houses that collapsed. That'll begin on February 25th.
A South Carolina high school class is getting a hands-on look at the work to preserve marshlands along the shore. 160 students took part in a cleanup project today on James Island. It is their school's largest volunteer project as part of an effort to participate in environmental projects. Natural resources workers at the Fort Johnson campus hosted the students. Teenagers took on a number of tasks like planting grass, dissecting oysters, and cleaning up the marshes.
I think it is really rewarding, especially in IB, like how much we talk about it, and like the projects we do also like discuss a lot of like work out and just being active in like the community. So I think it's really rewarding to just be able to see what we can do to benefit around us.
Today's work is part of a week-long effort involving school districts across the state. Let's talk about that weather tonight and the rest of the week as you're looking live at Gastonia. Our winter warm-up that started today is set to be even better tomorrow. Chief Meteorologist Tara Lane joining us right now, and it's not going to feel like what we saw in the morning, but it could warm up to 70 degrees tomorrow.
Yes, I mean, big jump in temperatures starting in the 20s and 30s. Up around 70 by the afternoon. We haven't felt that since earlier in January. We did have a couple of 70 degrees in January, right, but I mean, since then, big stretch of cold. As we know, we've had the rounds of winter weather, the ice, the snow, whatever it has been, and
on to spring. Let's go.
I know we're going to get a taste of it. Just wait till you step outside tomorrow. If you're a fan, you're going to be loving it. And nice to see that sunshine today too. I was actually up in Boone earlier this morning and seeing some of that sun. It was a nice sight to see. Still the piles, the big mounds of snow snow, of course, on the sides of the sidewalks and the roads up there. But we're going to get a little more of that melting taking place, just a little bit, the next couple of days with those above normal temperatures returning. We did make it up to 52 today, so definitely a little warmer than what we had with the cold 30s and the gray conditions up there in the sky yesterday to wrap up the weekend. So a little closer to average. 32 was the low this morning, and we'll be kind of right around that number early tomorrow, but a little colder in spots. I mean, check out Albemarle already. You all in Stanley County sitting in the upper 20s. We're right at freezing in Wadesboro. We've got 33 in Rock Hill, 31 degrees in Lincolnton, upper 20s and lower 30s up in the mountains, still at 43 in the Queen City. So we've got high pressure that's sliding off to the south and kind of a warmer flow coming in around that. And at the same time, tracking another front and wave of low pressure. It's going to drop in from the north and west over the next couple of days and bring us our next rain chance. But it's not going to be much by the middle of the week. And I'll show you that on Futurecast coming up. Tonight, no rain. We stay dry, mostly clear. The wind nice and calm. Temperature down to 33 in the morning. But again, we'll have some colder spots dipping, more of us dipping into the 20s come early tomorrow morning. But warming up, we get that warm surge pushing in from the south and west into tomorrow. And in case you're wondering, are we hitting any records? So the record high tomorrow is 76. I believe that will be safe for another year, but I am going with 70. I mean, look at the temperature change here. If you're headed out to lunch tomorrow, more sunshine, Carolina blue sky, have at it. Even if you want to maybe sit outside, 60 degrees and then 70 by 4 p.m. or so. Now, tracking that next rain chance, as I said, it's not going to be much rain with this particular system. Again, tomorrow we're nice and dry. We'll see some more clouds in the mountains, but as that front starts its approach by midnight or so and into the wee hours of Wednesday morning, we could start to see a little bit of rain up in the mountains. And Wednesday morning could start wet and maybe drizzly in parts of the region from the foothills and throughout the Piedmont here. But by the afternoon and even late morning, it looks like the majority of that is going to be out of here. So could be a wet start early Wednesday for a lot of you, but then drier for the afternoon. It's back to sunshine. We'll stick with that through Thursday. But the rain is still needed because we still have a pretty widespread footprint of severe drought conditions. You can see all that orange in place across the Piedmont, little sliver up there along the western facing slopes in the mountains too. But we do get some better chances by the weekend. I know maybe not the timing not working out so much if you do have any Valentine's Day plans, if you're thinking of doing things outside. Saturday morning, we could start to see some showers working in from the south and west, overspreading the region by Sunday morning, just looking like rain showers here, maybe a touch of some high elevation mountain snow, but even there for you all in the mountains, it may stay just rain. But then right on through Sunday afternoon, that rain could turn heavy in spots before starting to exit the region into Monday, but not before giving us as much as an inch or even 2 of rainfall. So again, it could be a pretty decent soaking on the way for the weekend. All right, but here tonight, again, staying dry. Here's what you're going to be waking up to. Those cold upper 20s from parts of the foothills, I-40 corridor up into the mountains, lower 30s from Charlotte heading off to the south into South Carolina. 70 degrees tomorrow afternoon. Back in the 60s on Wednesday, and then we're back closer to normal, 50s returning through Valentine's Day and the weekend.
Enjoy it while we can. Love it, Tara. Thank you. Small earthquakes are rocking part of South Carolina's low country, while the tremors are more common than people may think. And the journey is hitting the home stretch. A warm welcome as the monks Walk for Peace enters the D.C. Beltway. You're watching Queen City News tonight, the most honored and the most local news in Charlotte. A group of Buddhist monks is nearing the end of their 4-month-long journey, walking from Dallas-Fort Worth in Texas to Washington, D.C. Tonight, they're resting inside the D.C. Beltway, nearing the end of their trek to the White House. Randy Bass reports tonight.
There was quite the massive turnout across Northern Virginia today to see these monks both in Alexandria and here in the Pentagon City area, spreading their message of mindfulness and peace, bringing people together from near and far. After 107 days and a 2,300-mile trek from Texas to Virginia, Buddhist monks on their walk for peace can almost see the finish line in D.C. Venerable Bhikkhu Panakara sharing his message of mindfulness in front of a crowd of hundreds Monday.
We are way too busy chasing because this world is spinning so fast. Right? When it's spinning so fast and we try to chase after it because we are afraid that we will be left behind.
Hundreds of thousands of people have followed their journey on social media along the way, some traveling thousands of miles to Old Town Alexandria Monday to see them in person.
I went home to Australia, packed this bag, jumped on a plane and started following them from earlier in Virginia. If we want peace, we have to be peace. And I just want to support that message.
I feel like if they can do 2,300 miles for that, I could do something. And this doesn't feel like enough, but I don't know what else to do.
People tell us they're resonating with the monks' message of unity during turbulent times.
Don't let anybody control us. Don't let material control us. Instead, we should know how to manage our emotion and feelings. And peace is something that always begins from within.
Now the monks, they are moving farther north into Arlington toward Marymount University for the night. That is where they will stay over for the evening before waking up and continuing their journey into Washington, D.C. tomorrow morning with the ultimate goal of ending up right at the White House.
Clock is ticking for lawmakers on an agreement to fund the Homeland Security Department, what they are discussing ahead of this week's deadline. And progress in Lake Lure's recovery, the town's major milestone in overcoming the devastation from Hurricane Helene. You're watching Queen City News, the most honored and the most local news in Charlotte. House and Senate lawmakers are back in session working against the clock to fund Homeland Security. Parts of that department could be shut down without a deal by Friday. Gabrielle Caracciolo has the status of the negotiations.
The House will be in order.
On Capitol Hill, the clock is ticking towards another funding deadline. Lawmakers have until Friday to pass funding for the Department of Homeland Security.
It's very possible we won't have our work finished by then.
With just days to go, negotiations over immigration and customs enforcement reforms have reached a stalemate.
I'm sorry to say we've made little progress in reaching an agreement.
Democrats have a list of 10 demands, including the ending of roving immigration patrols, mandatory body cameras, and the unmasking of officers.
All we're asking is that ICE and other federal immigration agents adhere to reasonable standards to maintain trust, safety, and accountability in our communities.
While Republicans say they're only open to some of the reforms on the Democrats' list, many, like South Carolina Republican Lindsey Graham, are also calling for the end to sanctuary city policies. Graham says despite not supporting their demands, he will make sure the Democrats get a full vote on the Senate floor.
I certainly would not expect the whole list to be adopted.
In the event of a shutdown, ICE has contingency funds to keep operating. So the effects of a DHS shutdown would mostly be felt by agencies like TSA and FEMA. Some lawmakers say they'd be okay with another short-term funding extension.
We need to keep working toward a solution. And if it's going to take longer than a few days, we need to provide the time necessary to finish the job.
In Washington, I'm Gabrielle Caracciolo.
Defense attorneys will begin presenting their case tomorrow in the sentencing of admitted murderer Austin Thompson. Prosecutors presented their final witnesses on Friday. Thompson was 15 at the time he planned a Raleigh attack, intending to hurt as many people as possible. He killed 5 people, including his own brother, in the October 2022 rampage. Prosecutors want Thompson to get the maximum life in prison without the possibility of parole. His mother already testified for the state, but will be back on the witness stand for her son's defense.
Austin, I know you did this, and I also know as your mom, this wasn't anything you had in you.
With Austin, I mean, I still love him, but I just don't understand why. I can't, the problem I have, I can't put the two and two together. The person I raised and the person who did these things, I can't put them together.
One major question in the hearing is whether Thompson will testify in his own defense. The hearing resumes at 9:30 tomorrow morning. The judge expects testimony to wrap up this week. It is a classic children's prank with a lot of risk. Ding-dong ditching started as a harmless joke, but police across North Carolina say it's becoming both a threatening and destructive behavior. As Barham James reports, some teens are turning to damaging property and using racist language.
Garner police say they're most likely looking for teens gone wild who are particularly targeting people here in this Oak Manor neighborhood over and over and over, caught on camera, not just going up and ringing the doorbell door cam and then dashing, but also damaging property and yelling racial slurs. Take a look and listen. These suspects were caught on camera kicking a garage door. This happened just after midnight here at this house on Squirrel Oaks Lane, and the homeowner says it's not the first time.
It's been happening so often. Our kids are scared nowadays, so it's definitely not a good thing.
Here's door cam video that shows one person after another ringing the doorbell and dashing away. Garner police say they've gotten similar emergency calls from other homeowners.
There's been a report, that some racial slurs have been said, or some yelling and screaming in an aggressive, manner.
He rang the doorbell, and so I opened the door. I came up to the door. I have my weapon.
Retired Army veteran Cedric Smith says the suspect damaged siding on his house, broke a flower pot, and knocked over a military plaque in honor of his brother.
Fortunately, the video system that we have, the information is already gone.
Smith called 911. Fortunately, Garner police say there have been no reports of anyone getting hurt in these escalating ding-dong ditches, which may be part of a popular TikTok challenge. However, recently in Texas, an 11-year-old boy and in Virginia, an 18-year-old were killed when homeowners took matters into their own hands and ended up charged with murder. Garner Police Captain David Castleline says the law may not always be on the homeowner's side when someone pulls a ding-dong ditch.
Do not be afraid to call 911. Let us come and address it. We have what falls under a castle doctrine, or stand your ground, or what some people would call. We have that type of law here in North Carolina. But that doesn't fall and can't be applied.
And police say most likely ding-dong ditch suspects taken into custody will face trespassing and destruction of property charges.
South Carolina police say they are looking into potential suspects involved in the death of a man found inside a trash can. A woman told police in Marion that she was pushing a can with his body inside, but wouldn't tell investigators why she was doing it. They recovered the body of David Hutchinson last month. Police have 3 persons of interest in the case, but they're looking for several others who may have information on Hutchinson's death.
We do have several leads we're working on. I've got a group of people that I wouldn't say a group of people, but some names have come up, not necessarily involved, but may know something that we're trying to locate. It's hard to locate these people because they roam from house to house, and it's just difficult for us to find them.
The woman found pushing the trash can is charged as an accessory in the case and is in jail on a $15,000 bond. Police or people in Dorchester County, South Carolina, are hoping for a steadier ground after a weekend earthquake. The magnitude 2.9 tremor hit the town of Somerville. As Hannah Baker reports, the state is hit by smaller quakes more often than many people may think.
I was watching TV. All of a sudden, it heard a big boom. A collision, it sounded like.
Ashley Baker is one of many residents who experienced a 2.9 magnitude earthquake Saturday night.
That was an earthquake. That was an earthquake. What?
Surveillance video capturing the moment. It rattled homes in the Moss Point neighborhood.
The last one, Saturday, all of a sudden we were sitting there. The boom was even more loud. It was insane. And then all of a sudden, you actually felt a shake like this for a good about 3 seconds.
It was one of 3 earthquakes recorded in the area in less than a week. A 1.6 magnitude earthquake was recorded just this morning, and last Tuesday, a 2.3 magnitude earthquake was recorded. Geologists tell me Somerville lies on a fault line, which is why the epicenter is often located nearby.
It's concentrated there. This is the earthquake capital of the East Coast, this part of the Low Country. So these earthquakes are just continuing on that fault system that lies in that area that produced the 1886 earthquake.
According to the South Carolina Emergency Management Department, earthquakes are not out of the ordinary, and South Carolina has an average of 10 to 20 earthquakes a year. While many undetectable earthquakes happen throughout the year, they're notoriously hard to predict.
There's no cycled earthquakes. They're a lot more random than that.
That's why knowing what to do and having a plan are so important.
Having that home disaster kit, having food and water, making sure your medications are up to date, and having a plan. And we've also got our South Carolina Emergency Manager app, which you can download. And then that's got all the information we've got on our website.
A civil trial between the state of New Mexico and the parent company of Facebook and Instagram continues tomorrow. State attorneys accuse Meta executives of being aware their platforms were used for abuse, human trafficking, and solicitation that put children in harm's way. They also claim the company put profits over children's safety. Meta attorneys argue they worked hard to protect the children and teen safety.
So if we can win in this action here, and we can force them to at least make their products safe in this state, it changes the narrative completely about what they say is possible for everyone else.
More than 40 state attorneys general have filed lawsuits against Meta, but this is the first case to reach a trial. There's significant progress as crews refill Lake Lure after the damage from Hurricane Helene. Ripley Simone caught up with people in the town on what it will mean to have their lake back.
Lake Lure is being restored to its former glory, 1 foot of water at a time, after being closed for over a year due to Hurricane Helene. Mayor Carol Pritchett says refilling the lake is a multi-step process, and work first started with repairing gates on the dam. Then over time, teams with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers removed 1.1 million tons of sedimentation from the lake.
Almost all of Chimney Rock was in our lake too. All the buildings there, anything that was devastated there came down. All the debris from all the way down from Asheville. It was 50 feet high in some places, vegetative debris. And removing things like boats that were trapped out there and different things like that.
Although the dam is fixed, Mayor Pritchett explained that to restore the lake to full pond, which is a 990.5 mean sea level, they must rely on the rain.
We are not able to raise the level of the lake except 1 foot a day, because doing it any more quickly than that would put too much stress on the dam. So what we depend on is the rain. So we have to have rain in order for it to continue filling up.
She says they are hopeful to reopen the lake by Memorial Day. And as the holiday approaches, they will continue to test the water to make sure it'll be ready for people to enjoy.
We continue to test the water weekly, and it's absolutely wonderful. So the water's in very good condition, and also we'll be restocking, which we always do anyway, to make sure that there are enough fish. Our marina, which we're having rebuilt, the boat slips will not be until the middle of July, but that does not mean that we can't open the lake up and people can enjoy it.
Reopening the lake is crucial for businesses in the area. Veronica Piper works at Lurd Market, which sits right next to the beach park. She told me that getting the lake refilled by Memorial Day will be great for residents and visitors' morale.
Last June, when they got the state park finally opened back up so people could go up, you could almost feel a collective sigh of relief that goes another piece of normalcy up there. Since we haven't really had this open during a normal time, we don't know what to expect, but we think it's probably going to be very busy.
Good thing to see there, Lake Lure, progress being made. And she mentioned that we do need some rain on the way to help fill up the lake, obviously, and we do have some needed rain that is coming by the weekend. Before we get to that, though, we are talking a winter warm-up here over the next couple of days, just how high those temperatures will soar. That's next.
And a nice cold sport that becomes red hot when the Olympics come around. Why the Queen City is a curling hub in tonight's Faces of the Carolinas. Stay right there. You're watching Queen City News, the most honored and the most local news in Charlotte.
Queen City News honors Black History Month. The historic Siloam School was a one-room schoolhouse built in the 1920s for black children in the Mallard Creek community. It came at a time when public schools for black students were severely underfunded. The Siloam School was moved to the Charlotte Museum of History in August 2023.
Every 4 years, the Winter Olympics get people off the couch motivated to take up sports like curling. Members of the Charlotte Curling Association say the games inspire new players who compete all over the world. Queen City News storyteller John Lee brushes up at a Queen City curling hub in tonight's Faces of the Carolinas.
Every 4 years, a particular winter sport is red hot.
More hours of broadcast for curling than anything else.
The anticipated spike in popularity is practically set in stone.
Oh, let's go throw that stone and see what it's about. Hi, Bobby.
People watch it and get interested.
Linda Crank glides on ice to maneuver a 40-pound granite stone, sweeping like there's no tomorrow. There's a lot of shouting in this sport. For the record, they're not merry.
It sounds like they're mad, but nobody's mad. It's our way of making sure we're getting the most out of our shot.
It's almost like chess on ice. And so basically you have to figure out where to make the angle shot to get it to the center. I'm going to go this way.
The chess comparison kind of makes sense when you realize she plays with a fellow named Bobby Fischer.
Got to give it more, Bobby.
I'm retired and I can still compete with people, 18 to 88.
Americans Corey Dropkin and Corey Teese are expected to generate another wave of curling interest in the Carolinas. The Charlotte Curling Association has some 240 members, and they welcome newcomers drawn by the Olympic buzz.
Keep going.
Just last year, Linda and Bobby realized they have something in common.
All right, good.
We found out we were both Puerto Rican and they needed a mixed doubles team. So here we are.
That led to cool opportunities, including curling in Scotland against international competition. Puerto Rico is a territory of the United States, but competes as a separate entity at events including the Olympics.
I mean, I was born on the island. Never in a million years would I ever think that a girl from the beach would ever take up a winter cold weather sport.
It's a new chapter for Bobby, a retired preacher.
I am a curling evangelist now, and I am on the board of the Puerto Rican Curling Federation, and have been traveling, curling, and wherever I can, I talk up Puerto Rican curling.
Oye, gente, quiero que vengan a curl con nosotros. Pa'lante, Puerto Rico.
Charlotte Curling Association is a hub for regional, national, and international players. There's also a team representing Nigeria based in the Queen City, Jasmine Hashi and Harold Woods III.
Right, Kenneth.
Linda and Bobby enjoy the camaraderie of what once seemed like a foreign sport. But don't get it twisted when they yell out all those commands.
Sort of like an old married curling couple.
Promote it if you can.
I do what she says.
In Charlotte, John Lee, Queen City News.
There's a group of Charlotte Queen City residents that are in Italy right now for the Olympics watching the curling. So they're going to have an American team that's in the gold medal final tomorrow. Charlotte Curling Association will soon host some public events to introduce the sport. They include family-oriented open houses and cocktails and curling for adults who want to try the sport and enjoy a complimentary beverage. Online registration is required. We'll have more information in our story at qcnews.com. Let's talk about the weather right now. Maybe not looking so much like Italy in the mountains near Cortina or what have you, Lavigno. This is Banner Elk in North Carolina mountains. Sun and warmer temperatures are in the forecast here after a long cold spell. Boy, it's been long and cold.
Long, cold winter.
Done. We're done with you. Chief Meteorologist Tara Lane joining us right now as we head closer to this really big warm up as we're talking 70 degrees. How lovely.
We get about 2 days of 60s and 70s, and then we're back in the 50s, but still in the 50s.
It's better than the 20s.
It's not going to be, right, it's not going to be terribly cold. I don't anticipate any cold weather advisories again anytime real soon. But yeah, a little bit of an up and down ride. Until then, we are going to enjoy the 70-degree weather. Maybe a lot of you. I know a lot of you love the winter cold and would prefer it to be nice and chilly. I mean, it is February after all. It's supposed to be cold, right? And maybe see some more snow. But instead, we're going to get some needed rain by the weekend with those warmer temperatures that will still be in place, at least closer to average for this time of the year, a little bit later in the week. But as we look live downtown Monroe, We are still getting colder tonight. We've got 43 degrees outside of our studios, and right now in the Queen City from out of the airport, 43. Also, south wind at about 5, so it's that warmer flow, that wind coming out of the south that's going to help boost our temperatures, working with more sunshine. Tomorrow, we've got relative humidity about 45%. But surrounding the city of Charlotte, it's already pretty cold. I mean, look at this. We have a few spots dipping into the upper 20s already. Salisbury and Albemarle down to 28, 29 degrees or so. Lincolnton also in the upper 20s, along with some of the mountain communities. 33 in Rock Hill, South Carolina, 36 degrees in Lancaster. But we are dry, mostly clear conditions. Most of the widespread significant cloud cover stays to our north. Do you have another front that's going to be moving in early on Wednesday, not tomorrow, Wednesday. So that will bring us a chance of a little bit of rain, but not until then. So again, tonight, tomorrow we're dry. This is what you're going to be waking up to tomorrow morning. So temperatures not cooling down much more from where you all are right now in Salisbury and Statesville, thankfully, because it's already cold enough out there. But we will dip into the low 30s near freezing in the Queen City, upper 20s there, Hickory, Lincolnton, 32 in Chester in the morning, and about 31 in Chesterfield County around the Cheraw area. But the winter warm up is coming, as we've been talking all about it. So tomorrow, Wednesday, even with a chance of rain and some extra cloud cover, mainly the first half of the day on Wednesday, temperatures will still be allowed to warm up well into the 60s. And we're going to be back into the 50s again behind that cold front by the weekend, but still warm enough through the atmosphere to produce what looks to be just rain showers. Maybe the timing not working out so great if you have some Valentine's Day plans going out, but you'll see that 7-day forecast coming up. As far as the next 2 days, so here we go. We start cold in the morning, more sunny pictures there throughout the afternoon and before sunset in the evening. There's that 70 degrees. It's not going to be nearly as cold tomorrow night. Look at this. Temperatures hovering in the 50s, but then only topping out around the mid side of the 60s. Clouds early in the day. We'll have more sunshine in the afternoon on Wednesday, along with that rain chance early too. So let's check that out again through 3 o'clock tomorrow and beyond. Several hours after that, we're still dry. Not until we get closer to midnight, overnight, early Wednesday, do we start to see the rain chance developing first in the mountains, and then notice some scattered light rain and some areas of drizzle expected late at night and into the wee hours of Wednesday morning. Could actually be a little heavier, some of those pockets of rain there east along Highway 74, but it's mainly a morning situation, so drier for the afternoon, and we'll stick with the dry conditions into Thursday. Now Friday, the rain chance starts to creep up only a little bit late in the day, but ramping up much higher. You can see those chances there Saturday and especially on Sunday, with the rain becoming more widespread and heavy in spots. And there's still the possibility we may see a touch of snow just in the mountains, but notice temperatures 59 degrees for tomorrow for you all, and then we're back in the 40s there heading into the weekend. So the 7-day forecast, there's the warmer temperatures the next 2 days, and then 50s returning late week heading into the weekend with those scattered weekend showers.
All right, Tara, thank you. Coming up tonight on Carolina Sports Live, got a hard-fought contest tonight between the hottest team in the East and the top-seeded team in the East that leads to some conflict on the court. Joey Ellis and I will have all the highlights from the Spectrum Center tonight between the Hornets and the Pistons coming up in about 7 minutes. Stay right there. You're watching Queen City News, the most honored and the most local news in Charlotte. It was a case of a child trying to take things into his own hands in an attempt to take home a claw machine prize as he climbed in and got stuck. Check out this video tonight of the rescue in Webster Groves, Missouri. It happened on Saturday at an indoor soccer facility. 2-year-old Cooper King got into trouble when his family was watching his older brother play. Mom says she looked away for about 15 seconds before someone noticed that he was stuck inside the claw machine. Picking up some prizes, though. Cooper's in there for about 20 minutes, but didn't seem to be too fazed by it. Oh, you're watching Queen City News, the most honored and the most local news in Charlotte. We'll be right back with a final check of your pinpoint forecast, followed by Carolina Sports Live.
All right, enjoy the sunshine and warmth tomorrow, everyone.
Thanks, Tara, and thanks for watching Queen City News at 10 tonight. CSL coming up next with Joey and me.